Build automated trading strategies for TradeSharp using Visual Studio. Create a new project in Visual Studio and from the templates, select TradeSharp Strategy Template. Rename the project to a desired strategy name which represents your requirements. For current scenario, let's call it TradeSharp Sample Strategy. This will create the project with all necessary TradeSharp code already added to it. The new project contains a single class strategy, which includes all the auto-generated code. You can also add new helper and management classes later on. In the class level attribute of the main class, you can specify the name of the strategy. Once the strategy is added in TradeSharp, the name specified here will be displayed in the user interface. In default implementation, the class constructor contains 3 necessary parameters, each representing a provider. If any of these providers is not required by the strategy, you can remove it from the class constructor, and in the respective base class parameter, pass an empty string. If you require some important parameters to be initialized, or some additional computation or analysis to be performed at the start of the strategy, you can place that code inside this onRun function. Similarly, if some values need to be cleared or closing calculations are required, you can add that code in this onStop function. The region connectivity notifications contains functions which are triggered on the arrival of logon and logout confirmation messages from the requested providers. Requested data region contains methods which can be used to request live as well as historical market data from the intended provider. To request tick data, create a subscription message containing symbol information and pass that object to the base class. For live bars, the subscription message will contain additional parameters specific to the bar data, and the new object will also be passed to the base class. Similarly, create a new specialized subscription message for historical data and pass that created object to the base class. All the requested data, if available, will be received in the functions defined inside Receive Data region. Functions inside Send Order region will allow you to send new market orders and limit orders to the exchange, as well as cancel any existing active order using the unique order ID. All the order updates will be received in functions inside Order Notifications region. The update message will include order submission notifications, order execution message, and order cancellation confirmations along with the notification in case an order gets rejected by the exchange. Now let's create a dummy strategy for TradeSharp. Let's start from the constructor. We can add new arguments as well as remove existing arguments depending upon the functionality we desire. For the current strategy, we do not require historical data, therefore we will remove the relevant argument from the class constructor and will replace the respective parameter in the base class constructor arguments with an empty string. Now we will add a new argument to the class constructor named symbol. The value we will pass in this argument will represent the symbol we wish our strategy to work on. Depending upon strategy requirements, you can add more arguments to the class constructor and they will be displayed for input in the user interface. For current strategy, we do not require any additional calculations or processing at the start and at the end of the strategy. Therefore, we will keep the onRun and onStop functions empty. Logon confirmation for market data and order execution provider will be received in the respective logon arrived functions. We will use the login confirmation message as an indication to start our strategy execution. On receiving market data login confirmation, we will request live tick data for the symbol whose value will be passed by the user in the class constructor through application user interface. Requested tick data will be received in onTickArrived function. We will use this incoming live data for our strategy logic. Let's assume that I am a novice trader and I want my strategy to only send buy orders when the current ask price is below the previous ask price in the market. I will place the necessary check and call the send market order function if the condition is met. The final step is to build the Visual Studio project in release mode. That will create project library which will be used in TradeSharp user interface. In the TradeSharp user interface, go to the Strategy Runner tab. Click Load Strategy and add the library file created from the strategy project in Visual Studio. Select the newly added strategy from the strategies list and create a new strategy instance. In the resulting window, provide strategy description and parameter values to be used for the each constructor argument which was specified in the class constructor. Let's use ERX as the symbol. For now, I will run the strategy instance in backtesting. Therefore, from the drop-down list, I will choose Simulated Exchange for both market data provider and order execution provider. You can also edit the parameters after the strategy instance is created. To start the strategy, click Start button. The strategy status will change from None initializing to executing, indicating that the strategy instance has successfully started execution. While the strategy instance is executing, you can also create other instances of same or other strategies and execute them in parallel as well.